Hello everyone and welcome back to this humble abode of gameplay and memes. Today I bring you another video about one of my newly rediscovered favorite games, ARK, the survival of the fittest. This time around you can probably guess what is going to happen based on the video title, but anyway, first and foremost, I am going to give you a bit of a backstory in this one. This is going to be another replay commentary video where I sit around and watch myself play pre-recorded and sort of explain my thought process and what I did and what ended up happening. So if you enjoy this type of stuff and you want to see more, please by all means like the video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe leave a comment down below with suggestions of what you'd like to see or what you wouldn't like to see. Or if you don't like the series at all, you can also write it there. Maybe I shouldn't be making these at all. I wouldn't know, because I enjoy them, but maybe nobody else does, so maybe in that case I probably shouldn't. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on with the video and see exactly what happened. So as the castle is flying, I'm kind of deciding on the program here. I'm seeing that the circle is in the northwestern part of the map, so I'm trying to figure out where I should be going. And at this point I decided to once again try out the famous strategy of going to the redwoods, getting myself a thylacoleo as fast as possible, and then using that to try and hopefully get as high of a place as possible by, of course, running around looting everything and shooting enemies from afar while they cannot catch up to me. So as I land, I of course start out with the green crates. I made a bit of a mistake there as I overshot it a tiny little bit and flew way past the crate, so that lost a couple seconds there. No big deal, but would have liked not to do that next time. But at the very least, from this one green crate I've already acquired myself a bow, which is a good start. A bow is definitely one of the most essential things you need to get as soon as possible, because it's very important. It allows you to hit from range with much better accuracy than a spear throw, although I'm pretty sure spear throws do more damage. As I struggle here to climb up this mountain, this is frankly quite embarrassing, but I'm pretty sure eventually I do find a way up, like so. Yep, there you go, and grab this purple drop right here, which thankfully nobody else has looted yet. I'm guessing nobody landed in the same area as I did, since I haven't met anyone. There were over 40 people in this game, which is definitely not, not as much as you can have, but it is definitely a significant amount, which could very well result in early encounters, but this didn't happen this time. However, somebody did loot the red crates that I was aiming for. I wanted to grab the green ones first and then go for the red ones, but as I was struggling to get the purple, somebody already got the reds, so I have to move on here. Also, yes, of course, I forgot to craft the friggin' spears before moving in, before landing. You can actually craft those spears whilst you are still flying on your Sinomacrops, that nobody is banning you from doing that. So it looks like, if you saw there, it looks like I've already got myself a rocket launcher from that purple crate, but I don't think I realized it until much later in the game. So for now I'm just running around the redwoods looking for a thylacoleo. So far not finding one. Of course, according to Murphy's Law, every time I actually want to get a thyla, I will not find it. Although I'm pretty sure there was one hanging up. Yeah, I just saw one on the right side, hanging up from the tree. But I don't think I saw that during the gameplay, and I immediately get attacked by a whole bunch of terror bears, which means, I have to distract myself from looking for my prey, and instead go ahead and try to fight off all of these attackers. I probably could sick them on the little moose right there, but instead I decide to just kill them and get some extra dino tokens, which I'm sure would prove useful in the long run. Yes, finishing off the last terror bird here, or knocking it out rather, to now finish them off, because terror birds are actually pretty good for a first aim, from my understanding at least, because they are essentially like a raptor but better in almost every aspect. I think raptors might be slightly faster, but even so, it's It's, you know, the terror birds will definitely survive more hits, that's for sure. I embarrassingly missed one of the spear throws on the bird that was already knocked out on the floor. Whoops. I guess I've already shown it to you, so there is no point to actually hide it, I suppose. Now I'm just running around here trying to finish off the other terror birds. Or something to that effect. I'm now running around after having finished all these terror birds, still, you know, looking for what I can tame. For something that could help me out here. Running around, running into a bunch of other wild creatures, most notably ants and these little thieves. Although I'm pretty sure in this mode, Piranhas doesn't actually steal anything from you. So, it's just a very cheap and easy source of points. Although it doesn't give you too many. I see a Spinosaurus on the right side, so naturally I do not want to go there. And instead just continue to keep looking. There's a baryonyx on the riverbank. Instead I decide to go deeper into the woods. Get stuck on a pteranodon here. Of course I do fail to finish off the pteranodon, naturally. And then I decide to go for a moose. Yes, I feel like at this point the moose is a much easier tame. Of course, since it hasn't noticed me yet, an easy headshot reduces its health drastically, so I can finish it off no problem. And yes, my first tame here is going to be moose. But at this point I still haven't given up on my dream of looking for a thylus, so I continue prowling the woods, trying to find one. But I'm not entirely sure if that will ever actually succeed. There is the same thyla that I saw before. I'm pretty sure I just saw it on the right side right now, but I'm pretty sure I did not notice that during the gameplay, or else of course I would have gone for that first and foremost. Instead I'm just, you know, farming some coins here, knocking out raptors and whatnot. And of course destroying more ants. Nothing special happening so far, still running around looking, you know, trying to get as many easy kills as I possibly can, while still looking. So overall, your average gameplay at the beginning of the game, as you're trying and failing to find the exact animal you're looking for. I run into a massive pack of hyenodons here, which, you know, once again, so many creatures gathered in one spot means lots of easy tokens, because for some reason the damage output of the moose is just completely obscene. And yes, there you go. A whole bunch more tokens for me. A whole bunch more experience for the moose as well. Overall, pretty neat, but yes, not exactly what we're looking for. Definitely not. Here I find a group of Smilodons together with some more hyenodons and engage all of them. Suddenly somebody else runs in from the side on a raptor, and I, without assessing the situation properly, decide to bail immediately because this raptor is level 2, and my moose is level 0 still, so there's actually pretty little chance of my success there, especially considering a raptor can straight up just pick me off my mount, if they know how to do that. Which I'm not entirely sure they do or not. Here I finally level up to a level 1, thanks to all of the kills I've acquired so far. I think with smaller animals like moose or Smilodons or whatever else have you, it's actually better to level up as quickly as possible, because this way you can do more damage and acquire more kills. Here I noticed the raptor player being chased out by a guy in a level 2 Thyla, so I of course immediately run in the opposite direction as far as possible. Because yes, that is a bit of a problem I've just run into there. I think, yeah, you see the death beam there. It looks like, I'm guessing the raptor got killed by the Thyla. However, it seems like the player survived to fight another day. So we'll see how that turns out eventually. Of course, I don't know this player's name, so I can't say for sure if they survived or not, but yeah. At this point I decide that to give up on the search for the Thyla and just go ahead and cross the river in order to head towards the playable area, because, you know, the ring is moving. Of course, at this point it's moving extremely slowly, so I've got plenty of time to go, especially considering I am riding a moose, which are super fast and can easily outrun the Ring of Death, unlike the poor innocent monkey in my previous video. Just looking for an advantageous angle from which I could hopefully jump all the way over the river. I'm not sure I've found it quite yet, but I found this really high up, or I found this rock that is really high up, so I jump off of that. However, I just barely don't make it, so instead I bounce off of the mountain like a football, and now I am on a rock, trapped in the middle of the river, where the hostile Spinosaurus inbound. I don't think the Spino noticed me though, so it just, it's just moving on in the other direction. There's more people dying. I think the Spino with the Thylorider, there was another Thylorider with a different colored badge, so it's a different player. Yeah, they went for that loot drop, so I of course decide to disengage before they notice me and continue on my merry way towards the other direction. Finally noticing my rocket launcher and deciding to reload it, or load it since it's the first time. Also making some more arrows on the fly. Yeah, so far our weapon selection is pretty poor. We've got a slingshot, a bunch of spears, a normal bow. And while the rocket launcher is excellent, I can't really make too much ammo for it because I haven't found too many, high tier crates. So I just have to keep running here. Seeing more deaths there, no idea what caused them or why. But it's quite irrelevant to us, because our job here is to either level up our moose until level 3, so it actually presents a threat, or to find another creature and level that up instead. A little tip here, large dinosaurs like the Therizinosaurus can be easily defeated by constantly running circles around them and hitting them in the tail. You can see they can't quite keep up with their turn radius, so they keep turning instead of attacking, while you just run circles around them and continually stab them in the butt cloaca. For extremely easy takedowns. Yes. So at this point I've collected almost 300 tokens, so that is plenty to tame almost anything except bosses. And I finally spot something interesting. I see an Amargasaurus over here. So, in case you don't know, which you probably do at this point, the Amargasaurus is quite a peculiar sauropod. It's got lots of health due to being a sauropod, and it can launch its neck spikes towards the enemy with various elemental sorts of effects. Of course, I've recently already uploaded a video about an Amargasaurus, so if you watch that, you probably know already what happens, or how this animal works. And I am in a bit of luck here. As you can see, this Amargasaurus is already quite bloody indeed, and it actually just goes down in 3 hits. Really lucky for me. I can immediately tame it up, and I think here I decide to immediately level up to 1. I no longer have sufficient amount of tokens to fully heal it, so I decide not to heal it at all, and instead just run around like this. And yes, at this point I decide that I probably should be just leveling up the Amargasaurus straight away, instead of trying to level up the moose any further. So I just, get on top of the Amargasaurus and start farming points with it, and farming, most importantly, the experience, of course, farming the experience with that as well. Of course, Diplodocus, very easy prey, considering it can't cause any damage. I switched to the flaming spikes here, as from my experience they are really good and they help you farm a lot, because you can throw them at the neutral or wild creatures in order to lure them closer, as well as you can defend yourself pretty well, because you can just surround yourself with flames, and the enemies will other players will think twice before attacking you, because those flames, if you're standing still, or if two big dinosaurs are standing still just hitting each other, the one who's standing inside those flames will take tremendous amounts of damage. So yes, it is a great deterrent, in addition to just doing more damage and helping you farm this way. So as the ring stops moving, new crates are about to drop, or well, they just they just spawned, and because of that I would like to stay in this little area here for as long as possible and get all of these crates. For example, you can see there is a red one, there are 2 purple ones and a blue one, so I would like to get all of these. So of course I'll try my best to stay in this area until they drop, and only then move on towards the new playable area, which I'm pretty sure is shrinking around the White Sky Peak, which is on the very far northwest of the map. So eventually I should hurry up and go there, but for now I can just keep farming. I try to chase down this raptor, try to snipe it with the flaming spikes, but of course that's never gonna happen, because they are way too slow. Instead I just catch up to it when it decides to attack something else and kill it. And all of a sudden I noticed there, the Megapithecus is approaching. Yes, there is a guy on a Megapithecus with some other teams as well. So I decide to start running away here. Because, you know, that is serious business. I do not believe I can beat a Megapithecus. Even if my Amargasaurus was level 3, I think that still wouldn't be enough. So I just decide to hang out far away. Unfortunately, this means I can no longer grab any of these drops. So a very bad situation for me, as I was, you know, kind of hoping I could be left alone long enough to grab all of these drops. I actually failed to do so. And of course I'm keeping my eyes on the Megapithecus, trying to see what it is going to do, while I'm fighting this Diplodocus here for some extra points. This is probably a little bit reckless, as, you know, it's so close to me that I should probably really get a move on. And yes, I think it notices me now and starts approaching me. So I should definitely keep running. Here my Amargasaurus gets shot. So yes, I do start moving here. I also level up to tier 2 and start finally initiate a full heal. Yeah, at this point I just have to keep running. My moose gets killed, I have to still keep running. There's no way I could ever avenge it or anything like that. I do see a Titanosaur here, as well as a whole bunch of mammoths, which theoretically the Megapithecus could get stuck on these. I could, in theory, force the Titanosaur to attack them. And then the Megapithecus will be forced to fight them, instead of me. But it looks like it's kind of sort of giving up its pursuit here. The ring starts moving, my Amargasaurus runs out of stamina, so I get on foot and have it follow me instead, because, you know, it can't really stop. And this is one way you can keep moving without stopping. Just the Amargasaurus, or whatever animal you are running on, you can get off, have it follow you, and whilst it's chasing you, it will regenerate stamina. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but this is a legitimate mechanic of ARK. As you can see right now, the stamina is fully regenerated, so I can just keep going without any trouble. You can also notice that the Megapithecus has mostly fallen behind me. It could still catch up here, but I'll do my best not to let it, as I'm trying to go a little bit off course. Not follow this straight path, but rather go a little bit further down. I can see now there is a really fast creature next to me. It's really small and fast, and also I saw a level 2 Reaper on the right side, which once again I am definitely not wishing to engage. You can now see that this fast creature I was talking about is actually a frog. So yeah, mad props to this guy for trying out a frog, but yeah, I get a nice little hit on it here. It's not too big, you know. Of course, Amargasaurus isn't the heaviest hitter in the game, so didn't do that much damage, but I guess I asserted dominance there somewhat. I don't see the Megapithecus, well, I can barely see it on the radar at the top right, as you can see. I think it was engaging the Reaper there. And now I decide to cross the river to get even further away from it. Thankfully here the slope isn't too steep, so the Amargasaurus didn't have too much trouble climbing from it. But yes, now I'll be trying to complete 2 objectives at the same time, both trying to advance to the next playable area and keep as far away from the Megapithecus as possible, because damn, that thing is extremely dangerous, and I would like to not see it, at least until the final circle. I am finally approaching the borders of the playable area here. You can see more people dying. Again, I have no idea what the names are for any of these individuals. I think the Megapithecus might have died right there. There is also a massive fight of creatures in front of me, of which I am actually not trying to get close to, because I see there are some other, some hostile players who are cleaning all this fight up. Very unfortunate. I'd like to get all this experience, of course, as well as the tokens, but it was not meant to be, so I just move on without, without disturbing them. Instead, just fight some smaller groups of animals that I can find in the woods here. Here you can see me trying desperately to lure wildlife into the flaming trap to showcase how exactly, this improves farming. And you can see one of the mammoths immediately goes down thanks to the ignition, and down goes another one. So yes, it does do quite significant amounts of damage. Normally, you know, when you just hit them with the flaming spikes, you know, with a normal attack, whilst you have flaming spikes on, it won't do all that much damage to herbivores, but once the flaming thing is on the ground, that changes things drastically and actually does quite significant amounts of damage. I start climbing the mountain here, killing everything I can see along the way. I think here, yes, I finally decide to level up to 3. So now my Amargasaurus is as powerful as it could be. Of course, I will still keep farming tokens in order to, you know, get more tokens for healing. Because I will definitely need to heal in the future. I already know that. From experience, of course. So I just kill some wolves here, continue moving on. Of course, you know, this is, the terrain here is extremely rough, so I have to be really careful where I step, so as to not get stuck. Eventually I figure out it's probably just better to avoid the mountain altogether, and go along the foothills. Meanwhile, only 8 players remaining in the game, so we've already made it to top 10, which is not bad, at least in my book. You know, when you consider how rank systems work for other similar Battle Royale titles, such as Apex Legends, for example, you know, if you make it into the top 20, I'm pretty sure you already get a pretty good amount of points there. Rank points, at least in currently existing ranked modes. So I consider top 10 to already be a good result. Of course, not the best, could definitely be better, but that's already pretty good, you know. I suddenly find an abandoned level 1 baryonyx here in the middle of the woods, so naturally I kill that as well. Get some nice extra tokens from that. I'm already up to 200, which I think, in order to fully heal the Amargasaurus, you don't need more than 100. And it looks like this is the place that I'll be hanging out. I'm very close to the playable area now, so I'm just killing some more pigs along the way. You know, at this point I probably should just tame a pig just in order to share experience to it, because this way, you know, I would have more animals and I could have a pretty high chance of, you know, leveling it up multiple times, or at least once, you know, even without tokens. And it will help me spend less tokens because, you know, pigs, they heal. So that heal would definitely help me. I'm seeing a massive fight break out there between a whole bunch of mammoths. There's like an army of mammoths there fighting something else. And suddenly I see there is a guy with a Carcharodontosaurus as well as a Giganotosaurus, so I run as far away from them as possible. Because, yeah, there is no way in hell I could possibly, you know, beat any of them. Here I decide to, you know, fire a rocket in their general direction, hopefully help the other people who are fighting them. The rocket lands, but I don't think it hit either the Giga or the Carcass, so not that great. Another rocket flies off, it hits something, but I didn't see any hit markers, so it possibly just hit the ground for no with no effect. Which is a bit of a misplay on my part, probably. But as you've noticed, at this point I still don't have like a compound bow or a flaming bow, so couldn't really do much more there to help somebody else take down this Carca. Yeah, right there I got shot by something extremely rapid fire, which suggests that was most likely a Vilonosaur barrage. And yes, indeed, I can see somebody with a level 3 Vilonosaur as well as a level 3 Spino. They are trying to climb the mountain, also trying to get away from the Carca guy as well. See how well it works out for them, I suppose. I decided that I should probably start going towards the next playable area, which is once again very close to the northwestern part of the northwestern edge of the map, I should say. In fact, you can see right now a large amount of the playable area is actually covered in water, and you know, down there's like barely any ground to stand on, so a bit of a bummer to say the least. Here I tried to take to get a good look at my Amargasaurus for the purposes of a screenshot. Of course, you know, gotta remember to do that every time you record something, naturally. So here I'm just walking around carefully, trying to assess the situation, trying to see if there are any more people anywhere who would like to fight me. In the meantime, still farming some more tokens, no big deal. At this point, the most important thing isn't the tokens, it's paying attention to your surroundings and figuring out where you need to go, how exactly you need to go there, and what dangers could be presented to you. As I get attacked by a bunch of pigs here, but of course, at this point, a small pack of pigs is nothing to an Amargasaurus. So I just clean them up, no problem. Get another loot box. However, this one doesn't give me anything special. I think, yeah, it gives me like a couple grenades. And that's basically it. Meanwhile, more people are dying. Already 7 players left in the game. You can see it's kind of on the other side of this body of water. Now, also, funnily enough, somebody is like trapped down in the water, it seems like. I see the Karka running around on the opposite side, so I am a little bit hesitant to approach it. Of course, trying to stay as far away as possible. There's a guy on Othyla. I think we might have seen this guy before when he was, running around with a Spino. I think it might be the same guy. Here, he looks like he wants to engage me, so I prepare for the attack by, dropping a bunch of spikes on the floor. All that cool stuff. Yeah, he hits me a couple times, I hit him a couple times, and we part ways. Because we decide that this is probably a better idea to not attack each other. Or I'm guessing that's what we decided here, because, we weren't communicating, of course, but decide that's probably a better idea, considering there is a massive predator running around who would probably kill my Amarga in like 5 hits or so. So we decide to just take a chill pill and kind of sort of just stand there and watch. I should probably heal up at this point though, because we'd like to be full health when action actually starts. And I finally decide to approach and investigate what exactly is lying down there. I can see that, yeah, there's a baryonyx, which I actually do hit here with my flaming spike. And you can see it's taking some very nice damage, although it's not getting ignited, which would help out, but I think, yeah, it gets killed anyway. Yeah, the final circle stops, and it's, as you can see, it's really awkward. Or, I'm not sure if I should call it the final circle or what, but yes, it's extremely awkward, as you can see. There is a giant body of water in the middle here. And, yeah, there's somebody down there, there's like a pig down there, just trapped. I tried to take some shots at this pig in order to hopefully damage it, and maybe I'll get the kill created. But yes, you can see there is a Karka engaging with the Spino and some other creatures. So yes, the guy with the Spino and the Velonosaur actually managed to go to the other side of the water before we did, which we definitely didn't. I am, yeah, trying and failing here to craft another rocket. I think that was just the last rocket that I fired off there, and I can no longer craft any more of these. Still don't have flaming arrows, so I can't really do much damage there. But at least, if I can annoy the Karka player, that is already worth it in my book. Apparently there are still 6 people alive. I have no idea where they could possibly be, considering, the layout of the map here. I'm guessing somebody must be further into the woods on the other side, because it looks like the other side is there's a little bit more ground to stand on. You can see the Thylo running around as well, just doing his best to avoid the Karka as well. It looks like the pig is finally moving out of the corner. I'm still not sure who this pig belongs to. In theory, it could even be with the Karka and just, it's just stuck there trying to get to the Karka. That could be a thing that is happening, but I think their baddies are a little bit different colors, so probably not. You can see the Karka still cleaning house, attacking anything it can get his jaws on. Of course, as you do, in order to keep up the rage meter as high as possible. Yes, no ammo, and I cannot craft anymore, I'm pretty sure, because, yeah, the gunpowder requirement is red. So, for now I just kind of stand there, try to shoot as hard as possible. Somebody lights the Karka on fire. No idea who that is, but I think at this point is probably going in for an attack on the last, big creatures in the game, like the Spino. I think the Spino might be still alive. Yes, mostly trying and failing to shoot. I land like a couple hits there. Should have probably landed a lot more of these. The Karka starts tail swiping. Not entirely sure what he was trying to swipe. It's hard to see from here. I'm guessing there is just a bunch of players on foot who are, you know, just standing inside the circle. Yes, he knocks the Velonosaur all the way down into the water. Yes, some serious damage done to the Velonosaur as well. Looks like the pig has also gone down. As you can see, it's, yeah, there's the death beam of the pig. Now, I need to try to start moving as well. But the problem is, at this point, the only way I can move is down. Yes, down into the water. Which is incredibly awkward, but yes, I have to do it now. Cannot delay anymore, because the ring is catching up. So that's exactly what I do. I just get into the water, realize that there is actually a barrier here for some reason that wouldn't allow you to swim across. So I have to go around this barrier, try to figure out where it stops. Another creature sinks to the bottom. That is a little bit unpleasant. You can still see the guy standing. I think that was probably the guy on the Velonosaur. It's hard to say at this point, but yes, I have to keep moving here. Thankfully, the Amarga can hop on these rocks a little bit, but then I realize, you know, I'm going in kind of the wrong direction here. I never healed before, so now my Amarga is at half health. I decided it's probably a good time to start healing. But, in fact, it's probably either too early or too late, because I should have been full health when I started going down, which I wasn't. And now, and now it's a little bit awkward because I can no longer actually climb this mountain. I realize that if I swim around it, it's probably going to take forever. And then again, there are no guarantees that I can actually go up any further, because I don't quite remember the layout of this terrain. The guy who's standing right next to me is trying to throw grenades at the Karka, but I think they're just bouncing off of the wall and mostly just exploding in his own face. Or, well, very near him. Yeah, I am also now trying to throw some grenades at the final circle. As you can see right now, where the exclamation point is, that is where the final circle will shrink around. So, very unfortunately, I did not realize that, you know, I had to move to the other side of this water body, of this gulf, and because of that, because I didn't realize it sooner, I ended up getting trapped here. Instead of, you know, crossing the mountain while I still could and trying my best to, like, fight off whoever was left there. At this point, somehow, there are still 6 people left alive. I have no idea what's going on. They are finally dying. At this point, it looks like the Karka guy also tamed a rock elemental. I finally decided to shoot the guy who was standing next to me, because at this point, I'm, like, pretty sure he is not making it out alive, or neither of us is, so I decided it's probably a better course of action to just kill him and take his stuff for myself. At this point, I think it was possible for me to grapple on top of the wall and probably join everybody else in trying to take this Karka down. Although at this point, I'm pretty sure he's got a level 3 rock elemental as well, which is terrible news for me. Yeah, at this point, I'm just healing up with those blood bags, trying to see how far I can go. Yes, still no rocket ammo, unfortunately. So instead, I finally grabbed the compound bow that I finally got from the guy I just killed, and I tried to shoot, but you know, I've got no experience with landing shots like these when I'm standing so far below, so I don't think it's possible at all for me to land any shots. And yes, I probably should have grappled a little bit earlier, like I said. Right now, I'm not even actually sure if I have the grappling ammo at all, so I kind of forgot it exists at this point, you know, in sort of the moment of panic. And here I die, allowing the Karka player to win the game, as you can see right here. Although, this is not too bad of a performance for me. I mean, in terms of gameplay, this wasn't the most stellar performance ever. But at the very least, you know, at the very least I took 2nd place. That's the highest I've ever gotten so far in this game. You know, I've never actually won a game in the new Survival of the Fittest, but yes, the 2nd place, this is the highest that I've ever been. So at least, you know, I survived until the end. And I suppose we can blame the horrible terrain, the horrible final circle, on the circumstances that I found myself in. So yeah, this was an extremely wacky final circle with mountains, water, and all other kinds of horrible stuff. Yes, I wouldn't wish this kind of final circle upon my worst enemy, honestly. Definitely. So yeah, what do you think about this game? Did you enjoy this? Have you seen worse final circles in your tenure of playing ARK Survival of the Fittest? Because if you have, I'd like you to share stories in the comment section below. But yes, this is all I've got for you for today, so have to go now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, maybe leave a comment down below like I've already said like 10 times. But yes, I have to leave now, so goodbye, take care everybody, and I hope to see you soon again.